Today we are going to put everything that we've practiced in the last 2 days together, and we're going to do our own summary using the somebody wanted but so then method. So you should have clicked on your work page. Your work page should look like this. So it has all 5 steps broken down and the questions that we're going to answer with those steps. And then you should have also opened up our story for today, and that's called Amir's Basketball. It should look like this. So what you're going to do is you are going to read the story, and I'll actually read it here in just a minute. If you would prefer to read it on your own, that's okay too. But I will read the story, and you can use your work page if you would like as you read the story, after you read the story, however you want to do it. This page is not graded. This is just for you, so that way you can write down your thoughts and kind of get these things out. So this isn't where your summary is actually going. This is kind of just more like your notes page, so you can write down all 5 pieces. And then once you get finished, you'll actually go to the next page, which is the quiz. It looks like this, and you're going to answer each of these questions. So we'll go over the quiz in just a second after I finish reading the story. So let's just remind ourselves what each of these means. So somebody is the main character. Who's the somebody in the story? Wanted is what the character wanted. But what the conflict is that made this difficult, what the problem, the issue is in the story. So how did the character deal with the conflict? So how did they decide to tackle the problem? And then finally then is how did the story end? What's the resolution? So those are the 5 things that you're looking for in our story to create our summary. Let's go ahead and read our story. Amir grabbed the basketball and bounced it as he walked down the narrow strip between his mom's car and his dad's car. The ball hit his dad's car. He hoped his dad didn't hear it happen. Quickly, he carried the ball out of the garage and shot the ball from what he thought was the 3-point range. After his next shot, Amir noticed a small dog bounding towards him. It was covered in white fur. He noticed that the dog wasn't wearing a collar. When the dog was beside him, Amir crouched down to pet him. "Hi there. Did you come to say hello?" he asked. Amir gazed down the street. No one was in sight. "Where's your owner?" he asked as the hyper dog bolted in another direction. "I have a feeling your owner doesn't even know you're gone." Suddenly, Amir realized that the dog looked familiar. It looked a lot like Mrs. Olson's dog. Mrs. Olson had been his teacher last year, and multiple pictures of her dog adorned her desk. He reached into his memory bank, trying to recall the dog's name. Was it Stella? "Stella, come here, girl," he called to the dog, who was running haphazardly throughout the nearby yards. The dog stopped and stared at Amir. Then she bounded over to him. Now confident this was indeed Mrs. Olson's dog, Amir tried to decide what to do. Mrs. Olson lived about 3 blocks away. He thought about picking up the dog and carrying her to Mrs. Olson's house, but the dog seemed too hyper. Instead, he coaxed the dog into his backyard and shut the gate. He stepped inside his house, explained the situation to his parents, and then rode his bike to Mrs. Olson's house. Amir rang the doorbell. Mrs. Olson seemed surprised to see him when she opened the door. "Hello, Amir," she smiled warmly. "How nice of you to stop and visit." "Oh, hi, Mrs. Olson. There was a dog running around my neighborhood, and I think it looks a lot like your dog. Is your dog missing by any chance?" he asked. Mrs. Olson frowned. "I just put him out in my backyard a few minutes ago. Let's check." She motioned to Amir to follow her through the house into the back patio door. Amir felt odd walking through his teacher's house. The backyard was empty. "Look, my gate is open. I bet my husband accidentally left it open after he mowed last night, and Stella left through the open gate today. Do you know where she is now?" "Yes," Amir answered. "I put her in my fenced-in backyard since I was pretty certain it was your dog. She should still be there." "Oh, Amir, thank you so much," Mrs. Olson said. "Can you lead me to your house?" Amir and Olson chatted as Amir rode his bike slowly and Mrs. Olson walked behind him. When they opened the gate, Stella ran over and greeted her owner. As Mrs. Olson picked Stella up, she thanked Amir again. "Who knows how long it would have taken for me to realize Stella was missing if you hadn't spotted her and come to let me know." "I'm glad I could help," he said, petting Stella one last time. "I really like Stella. If you ever need a dog sitter, give me a call." Mrs. Olson nodded. "I can tell Stella likes you a lot, too. I'll definitely be calling you the next time we need a dog sitter." So if you need to read back through the story, that's fine. Or if you even want to go back and listen to me read and kind of pause, I would use your workspace here to write down those 5 points. So the main character, what the main character wanted, the conflict that happened, how the character dealt with the conflict, and then how the story ended. Once you have your work page finished up. You can take everything that you have from your work page, or if you don't want to use all of your work page, that's okay too. But you are going to look on the next page, and it's the quiz that says Amir's basketball summarizing assignment. And I'll probably change the name of that. Well, no, we'll leave it Amir's basketball. So the first thing that you're just going to answer all 5 sections. So who is the somebody? What did the somebody want? What happened? So what they did, so they did what? So what did they do after that? And then how did the story end? Then finally, you're going to take all 4 of those sections, the somebody wanted, but so then, and you're going to write me a paragraph summarizing the story. Now, remember, a paragraph can be anywhere between 3 to 5 sentences. You also can remember that you don't have to write 1 sentence for each one of these. If you wanted to combine the somebody and wanted, that's fine. If you even wanted to combine the somebody, wanted, and but sections, that's all fine too. I will tell you, 1 sentence is not going to cut it for a summary, because if you add all 5 of these sections in there, that's going to be a run-on sentence. So we want to make sure that we separate it out enough that we don't have any run-on sentences. But you're going to write me a summary. Tell me the most important parts of the story that we just read. What happened in that story? Pretend like I have never read that story, and you're going to give me the rundown of what happened in that story. Again, you can go back to your notes here, and you can use anything from here if you want to write these in your notes. If you want to skip the work page, the note page, and you just want to go straight into the quiz, and you can type your answers in here, that's fine too. It's completely up to you what you want to do. And then once you're done, double check your work, and then go ahead and hit submit quiz, and then you're finished with this section of reading for today.